This is Chris in Las Vegas. I'm an occultist, a chaos magical practitioner, and when I was a child, we were trained in psychic powers. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. Now, this book, the Silva Mind Control Method, or Silva Mind Control, came out in the 1960s and 70s, and the techniques in the techniques in this series were taught to me by my father when I was a kid. One of the many techniques that were taught to us. But let me go into what the Silva mind control method is. So, Joseph Silva, Jose Silva, he created a mind control method, and it wasn't to control other people's minds. It was about self mind control. It was about discipline of the own mind. In the 1960s and 70s, he created this method. Now, he was a World War II veteran, and he noticed that his kids would learn quicker in school if he would teach them how to calm their minds and how to take that moment of peace to do their cognitive problem solving. And he claimed that he taught his daughter how to be psychic and telepathic with this technique. And the cool thing is, it's a 3-2-1 method. There are three methods in the Silva mind control method in order to become more psychic or to sharpen one's own intuition. And again, he had taught this to his children, and my father himself was a student of Silva mind control, and he had taught us to us when we were kids being raised up. Now, the 3-2-1 method. Now, the very beginning of the 3-2-1 method was to change somebody's state of awareness from everyday conscious mind that we're living in when we're making our decisions in the world to an alpha and beta state, to where we are closing off stimuli to our minds in order to free think, in order to daydream, if you will, or in order to let your mind be open to psychic stimuli. So that was the first method in the 3-2-1 method, was to close your mind or to open up your mind in a way to where you go into an alpha beta state to where you can read psychic ability. The second technique in the Silva mind control was the idea of creating a trigger. Once you get into your alpha state, that you create a trigger with a physical gesture in order to get you into that alpha mind state all the more quicker. A lot of people will call it an anchor that is the trigger of the alpha mind state. But what Jose Silva used was the concept of taking your index finger, your middle finger, and your thumb. And when you reach your alpha state, you combine, you touch these three fingers together in order to make that foundation, that idea that every time I touch the three fingers together, I will be in an alpha state. Now it's funny, I don't use that three finger method, but I use another method. I use a different gesture that I created myself, and I use words in order to get me into that state of alpha, or in that state of psychic awareness. The last method of Silva mind control was the idea that a person, the receiver, the psychic, would envision in their brain, inside their head, a television screen standing right in front of them. And that television screen is usually blank until they are thinking about the thing that they want to see, or the answer to the question that they want to solve. Or if they have something that they're looking for, they're thinking, hey, where is this thing that I'm looking for? And they let their mind create the pictures on that screen in their mind's eye. Now, these are all common, everyday psychic techniques that somebody who studies the occult would know nowadays. But Joseph Silva, he brought it into the 20th century. So, like, what I love about this book is not only does it remind me of my dad coming up, but at the same time, it reminds me of the psychic techniques that were being brought up into the 20th century that later became embraced by the New Age like movement, and then now into the psychic community and magical community that we see nowadays. Have you ever heard of the Silva mind control method? Have you ever heard of Joseph? And have you ever heard of Jose Silva and the Silva family? Because his kids carried on the Silva mind control method. Hugs, health, and happiness from Las Vegas.